Welcome to the deep dive. Uh, really excited today. We're diving headfirst into something pretty powerful in web development. We're talking about Phprunner's pop-up functionality. Now, for anyone maybe less familiar, Phprunner is this, well, fantastic tool for building web apps fast, especially database-driven ones. It really simplifies creating complex stuff like these dynamic pop-up windows we're going to get into. You know, if you've ever used a web app, seen a small window appear to add something or view details without feeling like you actually left the page, well, that's the magic of pop-ups we're discussing. Their main goal really is to make the user experience smoother. It creates this more continuous workflow. It makes the whole thing feel, more intuitive, more interactive. So our mission for this deep dive is to really dig into the code that makes these seamless things happen. And we're specifically zooming in on what are called the client before and client after events. That seems to be where a lot of the action is. I guess the question is, why are these events client before and client after so central?
Yeah, that's a great question. And what's really fascinating, I think, is just how much control these client-side events give you right over the user experience. They aren't just random points in the process. They're like key control centers for tailoring how that pop-up behaves right there in the user's browser. So you get real-time responsiveness, immediate validation. It's crucial stuff for modern apps.
Okay, let's unpack that then. So when we say client before and client after events, we're talking about snippets of JavaScript code, right? Code you'd attach to something like a custom button inside Phprunner.
Exactly. That's precisely it. Think of them as your JavaScript hooks. It's where you'll most often call the main function for making pop-ups appear, which is Runner.displayPopup. And it's also where you can then, manipulate the pop-up's behavior after it's shown up.
Right. And before we jump straight into Runner.displayPopup, maybe we should quickly clarify the difference between those two hooks. Client before versus client after on a button. When would you use one over the other? What's the thinking there?
Good point. It's all about timing, really. Client before runs, before the button's main job. So it's your chance to check something, maybe validate input, before the server gets involved or a page navigates.
Okay, like a gatekeeper?
Sort of, yeah. Whereas client after runs after the main action is done. So that's perfect for showing a success message, maybe refreshing the list page behind the pop-up, cleaning things up. For pop-ups specifically, you might often launch one in client before to get input. Or perhaps show a confirmation message in client after. It really depends on the user flow you're aiming for.
Got it. Timing is key. So, okay, we've picked our moment, maybe client before. How do we actually make a basic pop-up appear? Show a page or even just some text.
Right. So this is where Runner.displayPop comes in. You call it directly in your client before or client after code block. Probably the most common thing is showing another page, like say an add new product form. You just need to tell it the URL for that page to something like productsad.php. And you can easily set the width and height, give it a header for the title bar. Pretty straightforward.
Okay, so specifying a URL is common.
Very. But you're not stuck with just loading pages. You can also give it raw HTML directly using the HTML argument instead of URL, like html.h1, hello.h1, or something simple.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Why would you do that instead of just loading a page?
Well, think about quick messages, maybe a simple confirmation or dynamic content that doesn't warrant loading a whole separate PHP page. It can feel much faster to the user sometimes, avoids that extra server request just for a small bit of info.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've got our pop-up displayed, step one done, but like you said, the real power comes from controlling it after it appears, right? Closing it with code, maybe changing its size dynamically. How do we get into that?
Exactly. That's where the pop-up object comes into play. See, when you call Runner.displayPopup, it doesn't just show the pop-up, it actually returns something.
Oh, okay.
It returns this pop-up object, and that object has methods you can call. Things like .close to hide it, set width, set height to resize it, .show, if you hit it earlier, set a pause to move it around. You can even get at the different parts of the pop-up, like its body, header, footer, as jQuery objects to manipulate them further.
Wow, okay.
These methods are absolutely key for any kind of dynamic interaction you want to build right there in your client before or client after code.
This is where it starts to feel really powerful. And you mentioned something earlier, after create and before close functions. What are those? They sound like they give even more control layered inside the Runner.displayPopup call itself.
They absolutely do. They're callback functions. You define them right when you call Runner.displayPopup inside the arguments. And they run at very specific, very useful moments in the pop-up's life.
Okay, tell me about after create first.
Right, after create. As the name suggests, this code runs immediately after the pop-up window has been created and put on the screen. It's the perfect spot for any setup or customization you need after it exists.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, say you load a page in the pop-up, but you want to set the size after it's loaded, maybe based on the content. In your after create function, you get past the pop-up object, let's call it win or pop-up, and you can just call pop-up.setWidth 700 or pop-up.setHeight 500 right there.
So you can fine-tune it immediately?
Precisely. Or another cool example, maybe you want a custom close link inside the pop-up's footer, not just the default X button. You could define a footer with an HTML link, like a href hashtag close window, but how does that link talk to the pop-up to close it?
Good question.
Well, in the after create function, you can take the pop-up object it gives you and assign it to the global window object, like window.popup.close. Then your link's on-click can simply call window.popup.close. It makes the pop-up controllable from its own content.
That's clever, making it globally accessible just for that interaction.
Exactly. It shows how these callbacks let you wire up more complex interactions.
Okay, so after create is for setting things up right after it appears. What about stopping it from disappearing? That sounds like before close.
You got it. Before close runs just before the pop-up tries to close, whether the user clicks the X or you call .close in Code. And the really critical part here is what this function returns.
How so?
If your before close function returns false, the pop-up stops closing, it stays open.
Well, okay.
But if it returns true or nothing, it closes as normal.
So you can basically intercept the close action. Why? Validation.
Validation is the classic case, absolutely. Think about it, this lets you check if the user has filled in required fields before they dismiss the pop-up and potentially lose their work.
Right, preventing incomplete data.
Exactly. It's that last chance to say, hey, wait a second. It saves users from frustration and keeps your data clean. It makes the whole process feel much more robust, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Can you show how that might look in code, say, checking if a product name field is empty?
Sure. So inside your before close function, you'd need to find that input field within the pop-up. Pop-ups often load content in an iframe, so you might use jQuery, like iframe.contents.m, put hashtag a value product name 1 to get hold of it.
Okay, reaching into the iframe.
Right. Then you just check its value, val. If it's empty, you return false. If it has something in it, you return true and let it close.
Simple but really powerful. You're essentially enforcing rules right there on the client side before anything gets lost.
Precisely. It's a fantastic way to guide the user and ensure data integrity without needing a round trip to the server just for that check.
These individual bits make sense. But let's tie it back to those client before and client after events on the buttons. Can we walk through a more complete real-world scenario?
Yeah, definitely. Let's take two common ones where this stuff really shines using those button events. First, imagine you're on an orders list page. Lots of rows. You want a little View Customer button on each order row, right?
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
When you click it, you want the customer's details to pop up, but you want to stay on the orders list.
Okay.
So on that View Customer button, you'd put your Runner.displayPop, call in the button's client after event. Why client after? Because the button click might first need to fetch the customer E from the server for that specific row.
Okay, so the server event provides the ID first.
Right. The server event finishes, gives you back the data, maybe in a result object, then client after runs. Inside client after, your Runner.displayPop call would look something like .url, customersview.php.edited1, plus result, customer ID. You see, you're dynamically building the URL using the customer ID you just got, passing it to the view page loaded in the pop-up.
Nice. So it pops up the correct customer's details. Seamless drill down.
Exactly. Really smooth user experience.
Okay, what's another common one?
How about adding a new record? Like you're on a list of car makes and you have an add new make button.
Yeah, standard stuff.
You click it, the add make page appears in a pop-up, you fill it in, click save. Then, ideally, the pop-up closes, and the list page behind it refreshes automatically to show the new make you just added.
Right. That's the dream workflow.
So the start of this process, the pop-up appearing, happens in the client before code of the button on the list page. You'd have something like window.popup, runner.displayPopup, URL runner.pages.getURL, cars make, add.
Using that runner.pages.getURL you mentioned.
Yeah, that's a really handy Phprunner function. It figures out the correct URL for internal application pages like add, edit, list, so you don't have to hard code paths. Very useful.
Okay, so client before opens the add page pop-up.
Correct. Now, the rest of the magic, saving the record, closing the pop-up, refreshing the list, involves other Phprunner events like the after add event on the server side and maybe some JavaScript in the add pages onload event. Those aren't technically part of the button's client before after, but they complete the loop initiated by that initial client before pop-up call.
Got it. So the button's client-side code kicks off the whole sequence.
Precisely. It initiates that user-friendly workflow.
This has been really illuminating. So bringing it all together for you listening, whether you're deep in Phprunner development or just curious about how these things work, we've really unpacked how these client before and client after events are the control panel for pop-ups. These little bits of JavaScript give you, well, immense power and flexibility over how users interact with your application.
Yeah, understanding these client-side events is, I'd say, pretty crucial. They're not just an afterthought. They're where you define what the pop-up shows, control its size, add dynamic behavior after it appears using after create, and critically enforce rules or validation before it closes using before close. It all adds up to a much more fluid, much more responsive user experience. It takes you way beyond just static pages.
It really does feel like a shortcut to making your web apps feel, well, truly dynamic, almost like a desktop app, but in the browser.
Absolutely. And maybe it leaves you, the listener, with the question to mull over. How could using these techniques, especially after create and before close, maybe transform a part of your application? How could you turn a routine data entry task or just displaying information into something truly interactive and much more error resistant for your users? It's worth thinking about.